Suppression of our emotional states is a learned behavior. When we're born, we know how to express emotionally. We're also connected to our natural body instincts and express them freely. Think of a baby crying out with full lung capacity when they have a hungry belly or a dirty diaper. They know without thinking how to express their needs and emotions, or at least to express that something's wrong and then trusting their caregiver to figure out what that might be. But as soon as we're out of the womb, a whole host of learned behaviors regarding emotional repression and behavioral norms and conditioning begins to get ingrained in our neural pathways. These messages and their conditioning can begin even when we're very young babies. When we're frantically crying and the caretaker cannot figure out what we need, we're often soothed, patted, bounced, distracted, shaken, ignored, yelled at angrily or worse, in order to get us to stop the noise. This creates a fear response right away in our nervous system. These fear responses might be when I express how I feel, something bad happens, or when I express my needs, no one responds or understands. When I express my emotions, it upsets my caregiver, and this puts me in danger of abandonment or rejection. As soon as we get just a little bit older and the caregiver understands we have gained a tiny bit of self-control, we're going to be ordered to change our feelings and behavior on a regular basis to please our caregivers and make them feel more comfortable. For example, when we're babies, we're happy to learn to use our voice and explore interesting noises with great curiosity. We have no self-consciousness that others will think the noise is strange or unpleasant. We'll gurgle, purr, moo, and howl with delight. As we grow a bit older, it's not very long before our caregivers or our siblings or others around us go from thinking this is cute to beginning to squelch this free-spirited and innocent behavior. Be quiet, don't make that noise, that's inappropriate. As we grow, we learn every day what is not acceptable, from what to say, how to feel, to when it's appropriate to cry, which is generally never. Inevitably, we're told to stop crying. It makes others feel uncomfortable when we display our true emotions. So we're trained to keep everyone comfortable by suppressing the way we really feel, whether it's good or bad. Emotionally, we might even be dominated into submission. Put this shirt on, Tommy. No, I don't like it. Well, you'll wear it anyway and be grateful for it. It's time for bed, Susie. No, I'm not tired. Well, it's bedtime, so you'll go to bed now because I said so. If you keep acting up, I'll stop this car and then you'll be sorry. Or we may be guilted, shamed, or embarrassed into compliance. Finish your plate, but I'm not hungry. There's starving children in Africa. How terrible of you to waste food. I feel like doing somersaults. What will people think if they see you acting that way? Behave. I'm afraid of the dark. Stop that crying. Quit acting like a baby. Now, of course, as parents, we know we need to set boundaries for children. We each need to learn to control our behavior and to have consideration for others. This is part of growing up and maturing, and yes, this is true. But the human way of doing this up to now is to condition us to outright lie about how we are truly feeling, to keep the peace, make others love us, be cooperative and likable, to be polite or politically correct, to keep others in their comfort zone and to fit in so we're not abandoned or rejected. This is the conditioning machine we were born into and grow up in. And the result of this is a lot of very sick people with severe emotional repression in the body and a really bad habit of lying and pretending all the time. Hello, how are you? I'm fine. Really? We lie and pretend to ourselves, and we lie and pretend with others. We're not authentic, we're polite. When we're not authentic, we become ill, whether that manifests physically, mentally, or emotionally. We are all well-trained liars. Please don't feel bad about yourself for being a well-trained liar. We all do it. We were all conditioned in this way. We're not trying to beat ourselves up here. Let's just explore what this little white lie habit looks like. This inauthentic behavior can be as everyday and common as agreeing to do a favor for a friend or family member when we really don't feel like it, and then feeling secretly annoyed and resentful. Agreeing with our partner about some controversial topic just to keep the peace, but stewing quietly about it and feeling distant from the person because you disagree. Putting on a happy, "I'm fine, how are you" face when you enter the workplace, when in the car on the way to work, you felt like the Grinch reincarnated. Agreeing to have sex with your partner when you really feel like it's more like an obligation and a burden. Listening to someone tell a long, boring story when you'd rather go run in the sprinklers and shout. Staying in a job you don't believe in or a relationship you're not happy with because you're afraid you can't find a better one. Holding your anger and unmet expectations within you and keeping track of perceived offenses until out of nowhere you explode and over-exaggerate your unhappiness to a person who's then shocked and confused by what they did to elicit this outrage. The list is endless. But that's okay. Keep your sense of humor and gentleness towards yourself. We all live in this reality of polite and totally made-up reactions. Our task is to take an honest look at where this is not actually serving us. And at a deeper level, where this perpetual little white lie practice is actually making us very unwell. We're attempting to become curious about this conditioning and to practice how we can deprogram this behavior to become the authentic self again. It can take a good bit of digging into our upbringing, our fears, and conditioning patterns to locate and realign some of these strange habits and beliefs that have become our normal container of reality. You'll likely see it's not as easy as simply becoming aware of the habit. There are many emotions and fears behind these habits of not being authentic that require some deep looking within and courage to confront and change. It's a delicate balancing act to begin this work. How do you become truer to your inner needs and desires and also manage and nurture your obligations and relationships? We're going to continue to dive into these questions as we move forward.